So this is my new theory, right? Of why these government officials don't want abortion. And it has nothing to do with their religion upbringing, even though I said it before, right? And this is my conspiracy theory. This is just a complete made-up thing that I came up with. Jeffrey Epstein. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Los Wise Guys podcast. I am one of your hosts, Eslam, a.k.a. Raw God of the Sun, accompanied by my man, Disco. How's it going, Disco?
It's your boy, Lord Disco here. How's it going? Actually, I think I'm changing my name to Emperor Disco. I already changed it on IG.
Oh, damn.
So,
damn.
I think I'm going to solidify it here and become Emperor Disco.
LWG exclusive.
I know.
We're beginning our news real strong. Holy shit.
Have an announcement to make?
All right. So this is Dan, a.k.a. Emperor Disco.
Okay.
What's up, Disco? And then the one and only Dan, a.k.a. PapaSunKiller.
Yep. You know what? At the end of it, a.k.a. Daddy. Nah, I can't do all that. But yeah, no, PapaSunKiller, PapaSunKilling. That's how we do.
That's right. So on this episode, there is so much news that we wanted to discuss. There's a lot that has been happening in the world. So I think we're going to take this episode, and our main topic is just going to be going over all these news and how ridiculous some of the shit is.
Dedicated news episode.
Yes, so it is.
Buckle up. My first story up today is Dave Chappelle, actor, comedian. Is he an actor? I guess so. He's in a show.
Yeah,
actor,
he's
comedian.
How?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm tired.
How high, right? Was he in How High?
How high?
Yeah, How High.
Yes. So he was actually attacked on stage this week. And
behind me on the DJ table is one of the most prolific producers that hip-hop has ever presented, the mighty Mad Lib. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip-hop history.
luckily, nobody was hurt except the assailant. Apparently, Chappelle got away, and then security came and broke his arm, busted up his head.
Also, Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes also attacked this man with the security.
I read that. I think Jamie Foxx, Busta Rhymes.
Jamie
Chris Rock was there as well.
It's so
I
funny.
saw a little video of Chris Rock going up on stage and taking the mic from Dave Chappelle. He's like, "Was that Will Smith?"
Yep.
That shit was so funny.
Wow.
Oh
That's
man.
funny.
They beat that dude up bad. Like, he looked worse than Rick James after the Murphys beat him up, Eddie and Charlie.
Oh,
that's
man.
crazy.
Yeah, that aftermath picture. There was a huge welt on his head. He, half his
Or the
head
video with the
didn't even
backwards
look
arm
human.
and his legs were all crooked.
Yeah. He was strapped to the
Did they say why
ambulance.
he attacked Dave Chappelle?
On the article, they mentioned that he had a Dave Chappelle rap. I'm assuming it was against him, so clearly he's not okay in the head if he's writing raps about Dave Chappelle and actually going up on stage and trying to assault him with a deadly weapon.
Yeah,
and the blade was actually pretty big too. I thank God nothing happened to Dave Chappelle, because that would have been a crazy tragic loss if anything happened. But
what's even worse, right, is that I'm seeing this now. L.A. District Attorney declines felony charges for suspect in Dave Chappelle Hollywood Bowl attack. Prosecutors determined that while criminal conduct occurred, the evidence as presented did not constitute felony conduct, a spokesperson said. So how was the evidence of a video of this man attacking Dave Chappelle, multiple witnesses including security guards,
Also the weapon
full
itself.
of audience,
testifying, and a weapon, a full audience, and does not constitute a felony conduct? Are you what is happening? And You had mentioned this before we talked, Disco, and kind of this like headline and a little bit of an article kind of uh, puts it in writing is that like are comedians safe now since what happened to Chris Rock with Will Smith? Is this gonna be like a thing now that like these comedians are gonna go up on stage, do their jokes, and someone's not gonna like it and just attack them? Like,
Granted, like Dave Chappelle's high profile, but still, it's like are comedians safe? Like you can't even go up there and have like freedom of speech, and you can't go up there and do your job safely. You got to wonder about not only hecklers now, but fucking people with weapons coming out. That blade was huge, to be honest. It was like if he got him, that's like 3-4 inches. That would have done some damage.
Speaking of freedom of speech, conspiracy theories last week, right? You guys were talking about that a bit. This could be one right now, bro. Put on your fucking tinfoil hats. Are people trying to attack freedom of speech through comedians? Like, is this how we're gonna get freedom of speech taken down?
I don't know if it's a comedian thing. I think anybody who's on stage that's a public figure is at risk, as they always have been. I don't think this is an isolated comedian incident. I think it's just crazy dude went after famous dude.
That reminds me of when President Bush, that one person threw a shoe at him.
Yeah, that was funny.
No one's safe.
Yeah, he was in Iraq, I think.
Yeah.
It was a reporter.
But I wonder how the comedians are taking this. Are they gonna? I mean, I'm pretty sure they're just gonna do what they have to do. But
they're all gonna joke.
I wonder if now they're like gotta like look over their back or like double take on people. Like this guy's got a weapon. He's looking at me funny or like I wonder.
I mean, I think definitely security is gonna get bolstered everywhere now, right? Especially at these comedy shows. If for comedy clubs, I don't know how they're gonna handle it, but like they're probably gonna have like they're gonna probably need to hire more security to like at least sit at the front of the stage. Like,
has this happened to anyone else too, or did I miss something? Like,
I know
Dave
Schultz,
Chappelle or
Andrew Schultz back in the day. He said someone got up and attacked him. Like it's happened, like especially
it's always happened. It's not recent though, right?
Schultz's one comedy sketch though is pretty like engaging though. I could see how he can like tell a joke about somebody and he'll take it the wrong way because he does kind of like push his boundaries on it.
He does, but he does it in a smart way.
That doesn't warrant the person to go up and
of course
beat
not.
somebody. Like,
but
I'm not trying to.
But his like jokes, especially if they're targeted at a race or at like a religion or something, are so smart and nuanced that the person listening should know that this is a joke, right? It's not like the typical stereotype, right? It's like like the typical stereotype, if I have a beard and I'm Arab, you're a terrorist, right? No, it's just like he goes into like these certain details that like the people of the culture know, and then like he makes like these little jokes about things, and they're very nuanced and like cultured, that it's just like, it makes that joke even funnier. And it's just like, you actually know things. So it's just it's not even malice. It's like, you know what I mean?
He skillfully maneuvers that. Like, he handles that stage so well. Like, from being able to jump from, like, joke to people to, like, he's just so good at controlling
I saw him live in Philly. It was a great show, yeah. In this recent tour that he was in.
Next story is, speaking of corrupt government, especially with that evidence thing, Next story is Roe v. Wade.
Yep.
Supreme Court overturning. There's a draft.
Yeah.
That reveals that the Supreme Court is thinking about overturning Roe v. Wade.
So one of the Supreme Justices presented a draft that Roe versus Wade is unconstitutional, and I forget the exact wording they used of why it is unconstitutional. And if you wanna really get like a good breakdown, I highly recommend going on YouTube, typing in "breaking points." It's a great independent news channel by these two reporters, Crystal and Sagar. I've talked about them on the podcast before. They're unbiased in their presenting of news. They do tell their opinions, but they tell you the facts as they are first, and then they like discuss based on their opinions and stuff. And they had like a really good breakdown of what the draft discussed and what the cases are, and what's going to happen if Roe v. Wade is eventually overturned, which will take a couple of months, like in 2 or 3 months. There's a lot of already in place laws that will get triggered in certain states that will automatically go back to banning abortion. Because Roe v. Wade was a federal law that overrode state laws. And there's there's obviously states where abortion is legal, and a lot of people and a lot of states have started these abortion funds, abortion travel funds for women who are in need that would be living in these states, so they can travel to a state where you can get an abortion, so they can get it. There's a lot of arguments on like how this is crazy. I feel that a law is just a law saying this woman can't do something with her body is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I saw this great tweet of a guy saying, it's like, hey man, how about we nip abortions at the source, and we have every young man get a vasectomy because they are reversible, right? So just get every man a vasectomy when they come of age. They're reversible. They can reverse it later on, and then that way we don't have to worry about abortions anymore. And then in the same tweet, he's like, "Oh, did you just get uncomfortable because I'm trying to control your body? Well, then shut the fuck up." So I was just like, "That's a great fucking tweet."
Absolutely.
I was just like,
that's my first impression as well. Like, I'm not like, I don't know all the details and like the motives, but my first impression is like, I just don't think that you should be able to tell somebody what they can do and not do with their body. I feel like it should be their choice. I guess I'm pro-choice. I feel like they should be able to get an abortion if they want to, or not. You know. Just like religion, you can't force somebody to be a religion. There's freedom of choice there. Like, I don't see. It's hard for me to understand, and I don't get their motives, but I feel like it comes back to
the motives,
money for some reason, because it always comes back to money.
Well, I think the motives also come from these really ancient politicians that have been there since like the 60s and the 50s, who got raised up in religious homes and who have abortion ingrained in their mind as a sin, right? And that's where they are bringing these laws from, right? They're bringing it from a place of their religious upbringing, right? And the United States is supposed to have a separation.
Separate church and state. So
exactly.
It's like, I don't understand.
But at the same time, you're asking human beings to separate their upbringing from the way they rule the country, right? Because a lot of people might not act like it, but this country is majority Christian, right? Or Catholic, or of that faith. And in the Abrahamic religion, like, abortion is a sin. There are caveats, at least that I know of in Islam, that permits it in certain conditions. But like, it's just, if there's a separation of church and state, this country is technically supposed to be secular, so there isn't supposed to be like religious influence in the laws, right? So, it's just like, I think it's gonna take a while to phase all these ancient motherfuckers out of office, and the only way to do that is for us to vote, so we can get the right laws made, right?
Just an example of how out of touch these people are. There was an example or scenario that, like, it was like, what if a young woman is raped, or like a child is raped and they get pregnant, and the woman literally told them that, like, there's nothing you can do. She has to keep it because she can't get it aborted, and pretty much F her trauma. You raise the child so that pretty much so you can have another person to enter the workforce. Like, it was wild. It was wild. But like, the fact that a child is getting raped and that's where her headspace is, like, thinking about the economy and what that baby could bring to it, as opposed to the trauma. It's like, F your trauma, just get over it. Like, there's, I just feel like she's so out of touch for saying that, and just like almost callous.
There was
human,
And then
robot.
let alone the trauma for the kid being raised by
yeah,
somebody who's not ready to raise them or
Yeah.
put up in an adoption agency, which, yeah, sometimes can be good, sometimes it doesn't. You never know. It's like you're taking a chance. It can be
Like
good
that
on
kid-
certain circumstances.
that kid raising
Sure,
with
if
the
you
trauma.
get adopted by Angelina Jolie.
What are you saying, dude?
But that kid being raised with a mother with all that trauma is and no father because it's a rape. So it's like, what's that kid really gonna do? Become some effed up, derelict or some sort of ill member of the society? Like, what, you're just breeding. Just like not the best humans for our society. I feel like
There was this video I saw online where this guy went up to interview these older women who were holding up like anti-abortion signs. And he asked them a very simple question, like, what do we do with these kids that these girls don't want? And they're like, adoption. And he's like, okay, have you adopted any children? She's like, no, I have some of my own, but like, did you adopt any? Like, there's kids that need adopting. Did you adopt any? She's like, no. And he asked every single one of them, and they all said no for adoption. All right. So if you're saying the solution is adoption for these unwanted children by these young girls or mothers who can't afford or don't want these children, but you're not willing to adopt them yourself, then what's going to happen to them, right? They're going to go into the foster care system. They're going to go into the adoption system, and then it's just a lot of foster homes are not great because they're doing it to get a paycheck, because you're getting a paycheck from the government, and then it's just like it's a lot of things get really fucked, and I think put on your tinfoil hat with me here real quick, because I'm gonna jump into another conspiracy theory of why I think these people don't want abortion, right?
Eslam wishes he was in the last episode so bad.
I got some wild ones, guys. So this is my new theory, right, of why these government officials don't want abortion. And it has nothing to do with their religion upbringing, even though I said it before, right? And this is my conspiracy theory. This is just a complete made-up thing that I came up with. Jeffrey Epstein, right, was synonymous with a lot of these powerful people because he brought them young girls to fuck.
Pizzagate.
Right?
You just activated David again.
What is the best way to have access to young children or girls that don't have a good home, that don't have a good upbringing, that are in low-income families, they're struggling, and then, they're very easily manipulated and taken advantage of? Force these young girls that get pregnant to keep the child. Right?
So
You gotta have a fresh supply. You gotta have a fresh supply.
You're putting out broken children that are going to be looking for something to latch onto. And
Exactly.
You got Jeffrey Epstein here, and he's like, I got $200 a day. You can make that in 2 hours. Just do this. And it's like, oh, $200.
Just a massage.
Like, oh,
Just
yeah.
a massage. You know what I mean?
And they're so broken and desperate. It's like, I'll do it.
And
That's
they're
wild.
also
That's-
like, if you come from a broken home and you're looking for attention, any type of attention you're gonna go towards, right? And it's just
especially if it comes with money.
if it comes with money, or if it comes from like a father figure you never had, or things like that, and it's just
True.
like. But that is my
Wow.
conspiracy.
That's
conspiracy
I'll
theory.
give you that. That was a nice
In a fucked up way, it makes sense.
Pizzagate.
Yeah.
Pizzagate scandal. We're like,
These
damn, we need
these
we need to farm
politicians
these
need
farm
a fresh
these-
supply.
farming us. They're farming us. That's
Yeah.
fucking wild. Damn, mind
That-
exploded.
well,
We're getting
that-
farmed.
Right, that plus human trafficking, organ harvesting. Like, there's a number of things where you need extra people for. So it's just like, it's for the black market. This is a good thing. But yeah, all right.
Yeah. All right. That's Roe versus Wade. I think that's
We went from Roe versus Wade to a conspiracy theory of farming children for sex labor.
I mean,
That's how we do on the Los Guys podcast.
It's still related. Makes perfect sense. All right. Okay. So that was pretty heavy. We're gonna shift gears a little, unless anybody has some heavy stories that you want to throw in.
I do have that one with the Tennessee.
Yeah,
I can jump into that real quick.
Yeah.
A Tennessee Senate passes bill requiring drunk drivers pay child support if they cause death of a parent.
Oh yeah, I'm totally for that.
That sounds like a great idea.
Why does that?
I'm totally for that too.
It just feels like that makes so much sense.
That should just be a federal law, like right now. Like, the fact that you, and especially like, and I'm not trying to defend it back in the day, right? But now, you have Uber, you have Lyft, you have ride shares. Like, getting a ride has never been simpler if you're drunk. Right? There should literally be no more excuse for driving drunk. And the fact that the Senate has thought, because this has never occurred to me, right? It's just like, oh, this person's just going to go to jail, right? So if they kill someone, they're just going to go to jail. But, like, you never think about the victim and how, like, yeah, if the parents die or something, then the kid is just like, what the fuck? I think this is fantastic.
The dark side is you got to think like how many families had to go through it before somebody was actually like, you know what?
Absolutely. Yeah.
This needs to change.
I mean, drinking and driving has been around since cars were invented, right? Yeah. And it's just like it's.
They probably did it on horses too, Eslam. They were just drunk riding out on horses, just falling.
Well, at least the horse can think for itself.
Yeah, but not the person that's like under the horse. They're literally grabbing from underneath the horse, gripping from underneath while it's running.
Oh man,
I'm gonna be mad if I get galloped on though. Like
that would be. Well, hey man, that's the accident, right? You just like get trampled by your horse.
But out of nowhere, the horse just like back kicks you, hind leg kicks you, just like what the hell.
I think this law should be like a federal thing. Should be the norm in every
They should
state.
explore more laws like this. Like, think outside the box. The famous disco quote, peek over the cubicle, look around and see what else is there. And, like, this is for drunk driving. What if there's something for, I don't know, just random crime comes to mind, like murder or something like that. Like, okay, obviously there's this, but, like, there's more things that could be done. If so, whoever came up with this, have them come up with more ideas like this, just to help
definitely. I think you should, if you affect the family in a great way, I think you should definitely
have to do something for that.
Yeah, financially support them in some way, shape, or form.
Especially if that person is innocent and just doing their job or just living their life, and then boom, you're the asshole at fault. Just kill somebody because you want to. You think you can do it. You could drive behind the wheel, and then you can't. Like there should be some retribution there. It's
100%. But shout out to Tennessee, even though they definitely have anti-abortion laws. But this is a good law. You should think about changing those anti-abortion laws, though. But Yeah.
This is what the Supreme Court should be focusing their attention on. Not Roe versus Wade. Like
exactly.
God, what are you doing?
Let's get some justice for the victims of drunk driving and not take away people's rights.
I saw one thing on TikTok where this black dude was just like, damn, sooner or later I'm about to be 3/5 again.
Yo,
they're going to take away his rights.
That's wild.
I was like, the way it's going, it's like we're disassembling. We're going backwards somehow. It's
dude, this country is falling apart so fucking quickly. It's not even funny. It's scary, like the point of the rate that it's falling apart. And it's because just the what's the word?
Stupidity.
The priorities.
Okay.
The priorities. What did you say?
I said stupidity, but yeah.
Oh yes, but also the priorities of
you think
everybody.
It could be traced back to Biden. It's all Biden's fault.
I've been saying I want to leave this country since I think before Trump was first elected. I'd be like, I think I'm good with this. I think I'm good with the U.S. I think I'm ready to leave.
It's kind of time to dip.
The
priority shifted from like a family-oriented, to like of our society to like more of like just like a super duper, just money hungry, in any way, shape, or form, and it's like all these corporations and shit like that are slowly like just sucking the life out of this country. It's I don't know, it's crazy.
I believe it. I think capitalism is like destroying us. It's like at the end of the day, it's like money becomes more valued over than life. Like, and so it's like
100%.
We just become a number, and it's like, oh well, f their family, f this. You're just a number. You're an employee. Do this until you're dead.
Yeah,
and
man.
I feel like that's where society is going, and they're farming us now for sex too.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. I think that's the end of that story, and we'll jump over to a little more calm stuff, some entertainment news. Are y'all ready?
All right. Let's go for it.
Yeah. All right. So first off, Green Lantern. There's been a casting call that estimates that at the end of the year they will be recording for Green Lantern. For HBO Max, they are releasing a casting call, and it's estimated that they will record at the end of the year. So, granted, all the Green Lantern movies thus far have been shitty.
Nope. Animated movies have been great.
Mm-hmm.
The animated movies were good.
Live action.
Yeah, there was just the one.
There's only been one.
There's only the one, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I guess there's only been one. But it has not been so well and not well received. So I hope that they fix it with this and actually cast somebody that's badass. I'm not sure who they're going with, Hal Jordan or maybe somebody else, but I always felt like Green Lantern was such a cool hero. I just love the ring. I love that it's like up to his imagination, and the power's just there. Just like you got to harness it, and it's always exciting to see what they can do. And so I like HBO Max shows personally. Like, I'm a big fan. I've been watching Raised by Wolves, The Lakers Show, and
the Lakers show is amazing.
Yeah, so good.
I finally saw the first episode of that.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I love it.
And so I think they're going to do well with this. I think they really care about what they're putting out. They're not going to put out just crap. And also, what was that one? Peacemaker was HBO too, and I thought that was really well done. So I have good hopes for this, and that also raises my hopes for The Last of Us. So
yeah, definitely.
Got my fingers crossed.
And jumping on that, also HBO Max, another Suicide Squad spinoff, but this time with Amanda Waller being the main focus is coming to HBO Max. So don't know what that's gonna be like yet. Don't even know what the story's gonna be. But Viola Davis is a phenomenal actress, and she's gonna be amazing in anything she does. How to Get Away with Murder was a great show, very fun to watch, and she's been a fun Amanda Waller. From the little we've got to see her, she's been awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing her.
This is a dumb question, but have they confirmed that she is going to be the Amanda Waller for the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says Amanda Waller's back.
Yeah. But it doesn't say Viola Davis?
No, it is Viola Davis.
Okay.
The picture shows Viola
I
Davis.
just want to make sure, because it's possible they might do a younger version of her, alternate universe version of her. There's like a number of things they could do.
So far, it seems like it's going to be Viola Davis. Yeah, it's her picture. Yeah, so.
They're going to cast Megan Good.
Well, there have been a lot of like younger Amanda Waller comics where you see her like actually fighting and doing stuff, and I don't know if they would want Viola Davis for that.
If they were to do
that,
shit like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen Jiu-Jitsu with Nicolas Cage?
No.
It's a fighting movie with Nicolas Cage, and he's got a gut. So, I mean, if you can make that happen, you can do anything these days.
No, they did it for years with Steven Seagal. Nobody asked. They just looked at his hands.
That's pretty much, yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so next story. This week was May 4th. Happened this week. So that's Star Wars Day, and you know what that means. They had to do something special. They dropped the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer. I don't know if y'all checked it out. Y'all checked it out?
Yep. Yeah, I saw it.
I thought it was pretty cool. I think the main thing that stuck out with me, just like briefly, was just like how they ended with the Vader breathing. I feel like that's always just like a clickbaity, just like, and then I just get like a hard on. It's like Star Wars, like.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about it. Obi-Wan's first time seeing him in the suit that's what that is. So it's like, that's cool. Like, that's never been done. Like, he trained this guy since he was a kid. He was like a little brother to him, almost a son.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was getting emotional.
Getting choked up there. You're about to start crying. Like, I know it's tough.
Yeah, it sucks.
Man,
It's a tough story. But no, seriously, like, just imagine seeing his reaction to seeing him in the suit for the first time. I've been wanting to drink green tea or more water, and I'm like trying not to.
Like, he was talking, it sounded like a ghost just shoved his hand down his throat while he was mid-sentence.
Grabbed me. Just, I can't speak.
He's just like... No, that's gonna be exciting, man. Yeah. And the Star Wars Disney shows have had like really amazing moments within the episodes. Not always having a great whole season, but within the season there have been a lot of amazing moments, and I'm hoping with Ewan McGregor's acting chops, hopefully Hayden Christensen doesn't cry, and then we just have like you said, that amazing moment and more amazing moments in this miniseries. Hopefully becomes their best miniseries yet or show yet.
It's a 6-part event, so I feel like it's gonna be no filler episodes. I feel like they're all gonna be bangers. At least my fingers are crossed that they're all gonna be bangers, and it's like gonna really get us going as Star Wars fans, and it's gonna be a lot of nostalgia. They're bringing back a lot of characters, and just to see Obi-Wan come back on screen, it's gonna be so sick, and it's awesome. I can't wait.
I mean, I love that it's a limited series. You know me, I'm a big fan of not doing a second season or continuing something if it's not necessary. So seeing it just be 6 episodes, one and done, that's all we need.
Hopefully from this they do a Vader spin-off show, because there was a lot of cool Vader comics while he was hunting the Jedi, and a lot of awesome stories.
Yeah, and I mean, there's between the comics, the video games. I mean, there's so much like Vader stuff,
like Star Wars, like Unleashed, like with his apprentice and shit. Like there's a lot of cool stories with Vader, and hopefully, I'm praying that they knock it out of the park with Vader in this show, and it leads to a spin-off of like some of these stories with Hayden Christensen. So I'm praying for the success of this. Of the show, because it only benefits me in the long run for my viewing pleasure. You know,
I heard that that they had to rewrite the script because it was too similar to The Mandalorian, and after they brought in Kevin Feige or something like that, so he said it's too similar to Mandalorian. So I'm hoping they like really spiced it up and made it interesting, and
I hope it's nothing like The Mandalorian. That's upsetting.
Same here. That would be weird.
I would hate that.
What is Obi-Wan going to be going on missions
doing
across
nothing,
the galaxy?
doing nothing for the entire time?
Be like, hey, I need some milk from this place so I can give you this information.
Obi-Wan, where'd you get that baby? That's actually my last story. So if y'all could take it off, pass the baton.
Dan, you want to jump into some of your wrestling stuff, or should I do?
Up to you. I got a lot of wrestling. If you want me to run through,
let's jump into some wrestling. Let's take a break from entertainment, jump into wrestling, and then we'll end it with some more entertainment news.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with some entertainment. We have entertainment wrestling news. First thing I want to start off with is, we all know there's the Warner Brother Discovery merger that happened a while back. We've talked about it a few times. Apparently, before that happened, AEW was greenlit to have another show. Looks like it was to take the place of Cody Rhodes' Road to the Top show. So I've heard different things about how it was either going to be like following the wrestlers backstage type thing, or it's going to be following them backstage, but it's kind of like sort of scripted. So it's like adding to the storylines without the actual wrestling, building to big pay-per-views. And I've heard it was also going to be a potential like Darby Allin thing. Darby Allin, he's I'm sure I've talked about it on podcasts. He's always with Sting. He's running around. He's like a musician / director / wrestler / stunt man, and skateboarder. So it's like he does everything.
Okay. He's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he literally can do anything. So it's like they're gonna follow him and do stuff. Yeah.
Oh God.
But so I've heard that there is gonna be that as well. So I don't know if that's gonna happen, especially now with the merger. So this was because it's all TNT and Warner Brothers owns TNT and all that stuff. I guess Warner Brothers Discovery owns TNT and TBS and all those things now. So we'll see if that's still going to be the case or not, if this still exists. But at one point it was greenlit, and AEW seems to be doing okay in terms of getting people's attention. So hopefully they stick with it and we get something good out of it. We'll see. Man, just pulling a drink over his shoulder.
Your shit came out of nowhere. Oh my God.
I was hoping y'all would have noticed, but I guess
how are we not going to notice that?
You did
how
this,
are you not
bro.
gonna, it's a bright ass big orange cup you just pulled out from behind you, from nowhere.
It's like you put your hand in a portal and just like pulled out a drink.
Please, anybody who's not watching the video version of this, go onto our YouTube, Most Wise Guys on YouTube, and just look up this video. As soon as I start the wrestling news, you're going to see Danny just pull out just a random orange cup from nowhere.
In honor of Doctor Strange that just came out.
Yeah.
All right. So there's that. Another thing I want to mention real quick is some WWE stuff. Guess what? WWE released some wrestlers. So,
ooh, that's not even news at this point. Like, come on, like,
Yes.
that's not even like
They're about to fire the janitors too now. Like.
all right. So I'm gonna run through who it was: Dakota Kai, Malcolm Bivens, Dexter Lumis, Harlan, Persia Parada, Sanjana George. Sanjana or Santana? Draco Anthony, Mila Milani, Raylan Devine, Paige Proinzavali, and Dexter Lumis, which is on this list twice. So,
honestly, those all sounded like fake names.
Mm-hmm.
And if we played that like wrestling game like you did in Japanese, is this? I would have got most of those wrong.
yeah.
Like a lot of those sounded like really, really fake names.
Yeah, failed that kayfabe corner.
Yeah.
So these guys got released. These are all like Performance Center / NXT people. Some of which have been in NXT for a while, and it almost feels like they got the last of Triple H's wrestlers. It's like, I think we're at a point where there is no more Triple H influence at all left in NXT. It's like, I think it's all gone now. I think this is all the Vince McMahon version of it. So it's sad to see them go. As always, hopefully they're off to do other things. And
do you think that's the goal, just to get rid of the Triple H people, or are they just letting go everybody?
No, it seems, well, in terms of this with the NXT stuff, they're releasing all the, I don't want to sound insulting, but they're releasing the wrestlers so that they could hire non-wrestlers who do other sports to become wrestlers.
Like the guest stars?
No, like, here's a person who played football throughout his entire college career but couldn't make it to the NFL. He's going to be a wrestler instead of the wrestlers. So it's like they're going to do stuff like that. Sometimes it works out great. Kurt Angle wasn't a pro wrestler. He was like the real amateur wrestler, and he ended up being one of the greatest ever. The Rock was a college football player that he went to Canada, didn't do well there or anything, started wrestling, and look at The Rock. You know what I'm saying? So it works out, but, you know.
Yeah, but it's like a diamond in a rough type of deal where it's like 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000.
Exactly. Like Dakota Kai she was one of my favorite NXT wrestlers for like a long time, and character-wise, she's developed so much over the years. Seeing her go sucks because she was like gonna be something big if they actually gave her a chance in WWE. So hopefully she's a big deal somewhere else.
AEW.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. AEW is starting to get to a point where like I'm feeling bad for Tony Khan's wallet. Like, bro, stop hiring people. Like, calm down. Like, he hires people just as much as WWE releases people.
Yeah. I think he's trying to fucking kill WWE at this point.
I don't think that's possible.
It might not be, but
it's definitely not possible.
Try to eliminate the competition.
No, I hope not. I want all these companies to stay around. All right, so another thing I want to mention real quick. Last week, I said that there was rumors of the name of the new AEW video game, and it was true. It's officially called AEW Fight Forever. Nice. But WWE has some video game news as well. They are apparently working on a new role-playing video game, an RPG. Now, I'm sorry, a new role-playing game. So I don't know if it's a video game, yes. We don't know. It's just all we know is that it's an RPG. So that could be a video game RPG where if think of like The Witcher, think of Dragon Age, stuff like that. It could be a regular RPG, think of Dungeons and Dragons, like a tabletop. It could be a mobile phone RPG. It could be a number of things. All they stated was that it is a role-playing game. So we don't know what
it's a
that's
strategy card game.
But it's a role-playing game where you're going to take control of a specific character and work out all their stats. That's all we know. We don't know what type of thing it's going to be, but we'll see if that ends up actually happening or not. So there's that, and I want to mention some Mexican wrestling news. I don't get to talk much about them, so I'm excited. Recently, there was a Triplemania show. Triplemania is the big wrestling show for AAA, Lucha Libre in Mexico. This year in particular, they are doing 3 different Triplemanias throughout the year. So the first one occurred. It was a good show. A lot of stuff happened. I don't want to get too much into it. But one thing I do want to mention is that they came up with this concept. I think it's new for luchas de apuestas type of match. That means like a match where you kind of gamble something. Usually in Mexican wrestling, that means you could have like a mask versus mask. Loser has to unmask himself or gets unmasked by the winner. Or sometimes it's the hair, where it could be mask versus hair, hair versus hair, stuff like that. So they came up with this concept called La Ruleta de la Muerte.
Shit, someone's dying.
Russian
death roulette?
The death roulette. Or roulette
Yeah,
of
I
death.
speak Spanish.
So the way this works is there's a tournament with a bunch of different masked wrestlers. Every person who loses advances to the next round. At the finals, you have the last 2 wrestlers who have been losing this entire time. Loser has to unmask himself. So it's a pretty interesting concept. I've never seen that before.
Isn't that like a great dishonor, too, to a wrestler?
Yes. It's
So-
a Mexican
shit,
wrestler
yeah.
specifically. Yes. So it's like the whole idea of doing this is really, really cool. It's very interesting. They have some pretty big names in there. You have Blue Demon Jr., who's a legend. You have, I believe Penta is in it. Penta es Cero Miedo.
I have a better idea for them.
What's up?
After the winner of those 2 losers, right, has to fight Luchasaurus.
I mean, they probably beat Luchasaurus, to be honest. I think most of these people would beat Luchasaurus.
I was just trying to make it short because he's a joke because he's huge and they're short.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and it's just like, is it going to be funny? It's like
I would love for him. I would love for him to take off his mask and he's still just a dinosaur.
yeah, that would be funny. Oh, God.
But
he just has the dinosaur painting on.
Yeah, I mean, he already does paint part of it. Anyway, so that's Triplemania. That was the first part. The next one's coming up, and one of the matches I want to talk about real quick is you're going to have Dragon Lee and Jalisco going up against the Hardys. I don't know if the Hardys have ever had a match in Mexico, but looking forward to it. I think it's going to be
This is
Tijuana.
Jeff and Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they've been together for a bit now. Yeah. But
No, I thought it was like a different Hardys, but I just want to make sure it's the Hardys.
If there's somebody in wrestling calling themselves the Hardys, they need to stop right now. All right? There is only Matt
Hey,
and
you
Jeff.
never know, because you said in Mexico, so I thought maybe it's like a different Hardys.
No.
Unless the Hardys had kids.
Yeah, I mean they do, but they're very young. They are being like I think groomed to become wrestlers from what I've seen,
man.
especially Matt's kids.
I feel like only they can like uphold the Hardy name.
Yeah,
like, in the
exactly.
future.
Like no one else is allowed. All right, so there's that. That's AAA. Now, last time Eslam, I think you were on here. I talked about how there was the announcement of the AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling joint pay-per-view, The Forbidden Door.
Oh, yeah.
So that's happening. All the pre-sale tickets have already sold out. So
Of course they have.
So
That's
this
not
is
a
happening.
surprise.
Yeah, it's happening June 26th. Apparently, the tickets were gone in less than 40 minutes, and that's, I mean, it's pretty damn impressive. And also, while the tickets sold out, apparently there were well over 20,000 fans still in the queue, waiting to get their tickets.
Damn. That's amazing.
So, cannot wait. Cannot
Good
wait
for
for that
them.
show.
Fuck yeah.
So there's that, and AEW has another pay-per-view that's happening before that, which has been sold out for some time, and they just announced that it's official. We're going to have, for the AEW World Championship, Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk. Punk is actually competing for the world title. So
yeah,
that's should
great.
be amazing.
Is this the first time since he's joined AEW?
This is the first time he's competing for a title in as many years since he's given up on wrestling. Like when he quit wrestling years ago, this is his first time competing for a title.
That's awesome, man. I hope he gets it. That would be fucking phenomenal.
I don't know. I don't know if I want him to win it. To be
Why are you
honest
trying to crush my dreams, bro? Why are you like I'm excited and shit? I'm just
I love them. I love the idea
like,
for the match. I don't know if I want him to win it. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need the championship.
As soon as you said that, you could just tell from his face. He's like,
I'm just like, what?
You just jinxed it. Never mind. Like,
damn, can't the man hasn't had a title in forever? Can't the man get a title?
He's a legend
for a night.
All right, think of it this way: most people don't know any of these wrestlers I just mentioned, right? But majority of people know who CM Punk is, as opposed to Hangman Adam Page. He doesn't need the title. Hangman Adam Page. He is the champion.
Yeah, but it's not about need the title. Does he want the title, Dan?
Who doesn't want the
title? Does CM Punk want the title?
Eslam, I want the title. Give me a shot at Hangman.
So if CM,
I need it more than Hangman does.
He should get the fucking title. Like I understand what you're saying. He's a legend. He doesn't need it to like bring himself into the forefront of wrestling like lore or just like popularity. But at the same time, it's just like that's cool and all. But it's just like, also these belts aren't like boxing belts or like sports championships, right? Because since these things are scripted, they're not as important, and that's where you make a lot of sense. He doesn't really need it. Yeah. But at the same time, it's just like so give him the fucking title.
The only thing is, it's more about whoever they really want to put their. Whoever Tony Khan really wants to back, he's like, you're now the face of the company. That's the way the belts work. Yeah. You're the champion, you're the face of the company. They're depending on you. So it's not like you won it, but it's like you won the respect of the owner. That's the importance of the belt. And the one good thing about CM Punk winning it is it elevates the title even more by putting it on someone like Punk. That's why Jericho was the first ever champion. So there's that. And then last but not least, I need to talk about a New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view that just recently finished. This is, I believe, their last pay-per-view before Forbidden Door, and there was a lot that was going down. It was one hell of a pay-per-view, and it was called Wrestling Dontaku.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more
that's
time.
Why I paused.
Did you say Wrestling Don't Taco?
Dong Taco.
Dong Taco. So I'm going to spell it out for you. Ready? DONTAKU, all one word.
Wait, can I get teleportation powers if I eat one of these dong tacos?
It's not a dong taco.
Yeah, you have to eat 10 in 2 minutes. Just down them. You get it for sure.
Oh, I'm gonna be like,
It's gonna be like that one dude that just dunks the hot dogs wet
in the water. Yeah.
To all fans,
you just swallow down the dong and then eat the tortilla like separate.
To all LWG fans watching and listening to this podcast, do you see why I saved this one for last? Do you see why I specifically saved Wrestling Dontaku for my last wrestling news story? I knew this was going to happen.
I'm sorry. Could you say it one more time? Because I keep hearing Dong Taco.
Wrestling Dontaku.
Dontaku. Can you spell it? Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Wrestling Dontaku was a great pay-per-view.
Okay. Can you spell it now?
DONTAKU.
Okay, Dontaku. Okay.
We good?
Cool.
We good?
Yeah, we're good. I think I got it out of my system.
All right, now I'm just going to say a bunch of Japanese names. So
here we go. Let's do it.
I'm just going to go through results, and I'm going to talk about important ones. So Suzuki-gun, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. defeated... Oh, and Taka Michinoku, can't forget him. Defeated Los Ingobernables de Japón, being Shingo Takagi and Bushi. And Shiro Koshinaka in the opener. We had Hiromu Takahashi defeated Yo. Tangaloa defeated Yujiro Takahashi. 6 or 9, which is Ryusuke Taguchi and Master Wato, defeated the other people of Suzuki-gun, being Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Dookie, to retain IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. I said Dookie.
That's a run-on sentence.
He did not defeat Dookie, son. He did not. I heard Dookie was defeated, and I was heartbroken.
Dude, he didn't even take a breath during that shit. Like, how is this even possible?
Yeah. Also, we had Bullet
God.
Club's Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens defeated the United Empire's Great Okan and Jeff Cobb and Bishamon, Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi to win the IWGP Tag Team Heavyweight Championships. Tama Tonga defeated Evil to win the Never Openweight Championship. Taiji Ishimori defeated El Desperado to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, to win the vacant IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. But after that was over, a big deal happened. Juice Robinson showed up and revealed he is now part of the Bullet Club.
I'm sorry.
After
all these Japanese names, we got Juice Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
After the Tongas, the Loas, the Evils, the Yoshis and the Yashis. I don't like. There's a Juice.
Yeah, Juice Robinson. He's been gone for a while.
Juice
People
Robinson.
thought that he was gonna.
Sounds
he was
like a
gone.
baseball player.
They thought he was done with New Japan Pro Wrestling and thought he was finished. He's not going to do anything. The man shows up. He was masked. I believe it was Chase Owens came out originally and it was like, who's this with Chase with the mask? Takes it off. Juice Robinson attacks what's called Hiroshi Tanahashi. He's like, I want this. I want this belt back. I want the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. I need this. So there was that. And then we had the main event. Two of the greatest wrestlers in the world have been for many years now. Kazuchika Okada versus Tetsuya Naito. Okada defeated Naito to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. As always, it was a banger. These two guys always have amazing matches. And after it was over, out comes a returning Jay White, the leader of the Bullet Club, to attack Okada and challenge once again for the IWGP World Heavyweight
Is he
Championship.
affiliated with Michael J. White?
No. This man's Australian. Or New Zealand. I'm sorry. Correction. He's from New
They're
Zealand.
cousins.
But yeah, and Jay White being one of the people to help promote the Forbidden Door, I could almost see them wanting to put the title on him because of the American fan base. They're more familiar with the Jay White as opposed to an Okada, I believe. So, one hell of a pay-per-view. A lot of titles changed hands here, and it was great. I mean, the Juice Robinson turning heel, becoming a member of the Bullet Club, it's amazing. We also had the return of Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, other Bullet Club members. Just a banger of a pay-per-view. Can't wait to see Forbidden Door. That's my wrestling news.
Dang, son.
Actually,
Dude, I'm tired from that shit.
One last thing. Did you want to retract that Jimmy Uso story?
I did. Thank you for saying that. So much has happened. So last week,
Just so we don't slander his name, because he is a legend.
Absolutely. So last week on the podcast, we talked about Jimmy Uso with the DUI. It was brought up in a news story. And even as we were talking about it, we were just like, man, it happened again? I thought the same exact thing happened last time. So what had happened was video of his DUI had surfaced online. And we saw that, and we assumed that was happening again. But it was just video of what had occurred in July, I believe it was. So it did not happen again, obviously, sorry to any fans of Jimmy Uso and Jimmy Uso himself. But, yeah, very happy to know it didn't happen again.
Yeah.
Because that you saw how upset I was last week thinking it could happen. So it sucks that, he did have to go through it. But, I mean, hey, he paid his dues, and, hey, it still hasn't done it again. So hopefully he did learn his lesson back then. And once again, sorry we brought it up. We misread the news, and, yeah. Go Jimmy Uso. Still tag team champion.
Go Jimmy Uso.
Yep.
And you should all go to our YouTube channel and check out all our awesome content, as well as our social medias in the description below. That's right. Now, I hope you guys are enjoying this episode filled with our news. And we're also going to be restructuring how we do our episodes moving forward. But we'll get into that later with the next episode. So, moving on. CinemaCon happened, and they had a lot of wonderful announcements. Also, other announcements that no one gives a shit about, at least in my opinion. The one and only announcement that I really cared for, that I've been waiting for ever since the Batman came out, was a Batman sequel announcement. And I was just like, why is this taking so long? And I'm just like, okay, now they were waiting for CinemaCon to announce it. But the Batman is officially getting a sequel with Robert Pattinson returning, Matt Reeves writing and directing the sequel, and as well as Zoe Kravitz returning as Catwoman. So super excited about that. Once the announcement happened, everybody was like, who's going to be the next villain? Who's going to be the next villain? And everybody started making fan posters of like the Court of Owls, Mr. Freeze, and all this other stuff. So I'm really excited to see who it's going to be.
It better be good. That's all I care about. Just it better be good.
Man, with the way Matt Reeves did this movie and the care and the thought he put behind the character development and the story, I have no doubt in my mind that he can do it again.
Have any of y'all gotten around to rewatching that first one?
Absolutely.
I know we mentioned that we were.
Yeah, the day it was on HBO Max, I saw it.
Oh yeah, you jumped on it.
Day.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have not been able to see it again yet.
Did your opinion change at all, or is it still just like, oh, okay, this is still?
No, I loved it. I still loved it. My family was here during that time. My mom hadn't seen it yet, so we watched it all together. And it being a long movie, and my family not caring about Batman as much as me, they did not get bored. They did not get tired. They sat through the entire thing. They were enthralled. If that's not a testament to it. Like, I could think any other Batman movie they've seen, it was always just like they'd fall asleep, they didn't care, they talked through it, and this is including the Dark Knight trilogy with people holding such high esteem. Like, that couldn't do it. Funny. The Batman did, which is better than that entire trilogy, if I'm being honest. So
100%.
You know,
my mom and my aunt actually went to see it in theaters, and they both said they fell asleep.
Yeah.
We judge movies in the time that they came out, and in that time that the Dark Knight trilogy came out, it was the golden standard for a Batman movie, correct? And this is just a new golden standard for Batman movies. And in 10 years, when they reboot the whole thing and comes out another one, hopefully it'll be just as great or even better.
I feel like it's a lot more structured and there's a lot more awesome, like, great mechanics happening in it. Whereas I felt like with Dark Knight, in my opinion, I was just like, oh, I was just really impressed with the way Heath Ledger portrayed the Joker. And I feel like that's what really won me over. And I feel like with this new one, it's like hard for me to, at first it was hard for me to understand that or grasp that. Like, I wanted that one. I'm still kind of like relating it to that Joker, but like this movie is its own entity and it has its own qualities, and I kind of like that there's a lot more, I guess, happening than that one wild villain. Even though the Riddler was pretty cool, I did like the villain in this. It was just a quick little updated opinion.
I think what this Batman movie did correctly is that it drew the correct inspiration from the comic books and reciprocated very well to the silver screen, in the sense where the movie itself was kind of like a comic book or an animated movie that DC usually makes, which is why I think it was so well done. And like, 'cause the animated movies are usually amazing, and I think this one was finally like at that level of the animated movies. So.
My thing with the Dark Knight trilogy was always just the characters were good, with the exception of Batman. He wasn't.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But the story itself was always just like it was cool and everything. Even the Dark Knight, the one with the Joker, it's like it was cool. Like the biggest thing to me in there was just like the corruption of Harvey Dent. Like that was really in terms of that entire movie. That's the only story element that I cared about. Joker, Heath Ledger was an amazing Joker. There's no denying that. But I don't know, when it came to, like, and that's like everybody's standard for like best Batman movie ever. I'm like, it's okay. Like I enjoyed it very much. It's a good movie and all, but this is the best Batman story ever told in film. Batman.
Definitely, 100%. Completely agree. All right,
live action film.
Yes. Ghostbusters.
Debating.
You don't think any of the animated series are better?
I don't know yet. Come back to me.
What about that Samurai Batman? No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
It's like the worst one.
There's a lot that are good. I like the Return of the Dark Knight. I like Batman Under the Red Hood. Mask of the Phantasm, of course. There's a lot, but I mean, the Batman. I don't know, man. Come back to me.
Okay. After the success of Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I have not seen yet, but I have colleagues who have seen it, who grew up with Ghostbusters. I was about to say Star Wars. Who grew up with Ghostbusters, and they were like, "This movie was amazing." They're like, "I cried," and they were very happy with it. And now during CinemaCon, they released that they will be making another one after Ghostbusters Afterlife. So this makes me want to go back and watch it. I like Ghostbusters, but I was never like the biggest Ghostbuster fan. So it is what it is. So
I think you got to be a little bit older than us to be in that.
Yeah. So these guys are older because these are some of the guys I work with in security, and they're like in their 40s and like so.
Yeah, it's really okay in the best way possible. That's the way I'd review that movie. It's really okay.
Yeah. Hey, John Wick Chapter 4 is coming, so we'll see what happens with that. More action, more awesomeness. Just another 90s action movie coming in this century. Avatar finally returns, and I'm not talking about the one we actually want.
I'm going to mute myself. I don't want to be a part of this.
Yes, the blue people are back. So James Cameron's Avatar is finally releasing a sequel. All this time he has been making these movies, these sequels to this movie all at the same time, and then he's just going to break them up and release them. They're also remastering the first Avatar and releasing it before the second one comes out. And the second one is called Avatar: The Way of the Water, which I'm actually looking forward to because I want to see what the water creatures look like. There was a still from the movie where the blue people were sitting on top of water animals, and they had like their hair connected to them. But you don't see what the animal looks like on the bottom because they were just like the animals like right under the water, and they were just sitting on top of it out of the water, so you don't see what the animal looks like. But I liked for these movies, I liked the world building that James Cameron did for this. It almost seemed like a video game to me, where it's just like there's like these cool aliens and like this world that he created.
It totally was, especially since he had to go into this almost virtual reality, and then boom, he's like in this like almost native habitat, and he's got to learn this new way to walk and live and the culture. It really was immersive, and I really enjoyed that about it. And
so I'm looking forward to see different parts of the world, new animals and such. We'll see where the story takes us. It's not the biggest thing for me, but whatever. Next up, the Hunger Games prequel. So the Hunger Games is getting a prequel, and the prequel is called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, based on the prequel novel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So I've never actually seen the last movie. I didn't read any of the books, and I never actually saw the last movie, so I don't know how the story ended. So I think it's about time for me to jump back in and like watch these movies again and finish it off.
Definitely.
I feel like I might have seen it, but I really don't remember. I feel like I just remember her having like a flame dress, and then that's all I remember.
Yeah, I've seen.
I think that's actually not like the wrong movie I'm thinking.
That's the first half of. Well, I mean, I think she has a flame dress in like 2 of them. That is not the last one, because that's one of the ones where they divided the last movie into 2. No, yeah. So there's 4 movies. So yeah, I've seen them all multiple times. I'm a fan of the series.
Katniss Everdeen.
Nice.
Yep.
Also, here it says Sony has another news. Sony has officially revealed the title of third Spider-Verse film as Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse at their CinemaCon presentation. The second one hasn't even come out yet, right?
No, it hasn't.
Okay. I don't know if this is a typo and this is supposed to be the second movie that is being named this, but I'm not sure. But also, speaking of Sony, a third Venom movie has officially been announced by Sony at CinemaCon, which I don't know why. I saw the first one. It was a waste of my time.
It's pure trash.
And I don't know if I want to see the second one.
Venom.
Venom.
Oh.
And I just want to bring up when we brought up Morbius on this podcast, and I said there is absolutely no chance in hell that was going to be a good movie. I was 100% correct. I want to point out, Venom 3, there is absolutely no chance in hell that's going to be a good movie.
Well, Venom 1 and 2 weren't good movies, so
I know. They need to stop. They need to stop. It's because they're making money.
That's
hey,
why.
Everybody listen to this podcast. Stop. Just stop. Not listen to the podcast. We need that. Stop watching these movies. Just let them die.
I actually like Venom and like Carnage as characters, like in
characters,
shows and comic, but just not in the movies. Like it's just not. No. It's not what I
garbage.
They could have done better.
100%. Harley Quinn spinoff Kite Man gets series order from HBO Max, which I'm super excited about because I loved Kite Man in Harley Quinn. I loved Harley Quinn, the show itself. It is one of the best shows that HBO Max, it started off as DC Universe, but continued by HBO Max. Super excited about that. Can't wait for season 3 of Harley Quinn to come out as well.
He's such like a cheesy villain. Like it's like I could be like a really funny show. I could see like a crazy funny comedy.
Embracer Group to acquire Eidos, Crystal Dynamics, and Square Enix Montreal for $300 million. I don't know who the Embracer Group is, but they are buying 3 gaming studios, one of them being Square Enix Montreal. I forget which games they made. Didn't they make the Dark Knight?
I think there might be a typo in what you're reading, because it's Eidos Montreal. Square Enix is... If they did buy Square Enix Montreal, that's something that might have happened in the past, because all these studios are part of Ubisoft.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, they are Square Enix. I'm thinking because Ubisoft they are doing something else in the video game world. So, okay, so I don't know if it's Square Enix Montreal. It's definitely Eidos Montreal. But the thing with Embracer Group is they're a collection of multiple studios that have just been going around for the past couple of years just buying stuff. And they're releasing, like, old games that are, like, remastered and stuff. So, I don't know how to feel. I feel like this isn't the greatest deal. Eidos Montreal, they did the rebooted Tomb Raider stuff. No, that's Crystal Dynamics, which they got sold as well. Yeah. Crystal Dynamics, and seeing them go to this group of people, I don't know how I feel about them doing it, because it's like if it would have gone to a PlayStation or an Xbox or someone else like that, I would know what to look forward to. And Embracer Group is kind of just this weird conglomerate that's going around buying stuff, and nobody's like, what are you going to do with these titles? Like, why are you buying them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just hoarding them.
It's a weird thing. So, supposedly Square Enix was going to look into releasing these, and they claim that they're going to try to do more stuff with like blockchain and NFTs. But a lot of people are assuming that they might have been releasing these studios so they could focus more on their Japanese studios and potentially be bought out themselves by another company. So we'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like everybody wants to get bought up because Ubisoft reportedly being targeted for acquisition as well. So let's see who's going to be targeting that.
Also, I don't know if you have it there, the Warner Brothers side of games, because of this merger, don't be surprised if any day now somebody's just like, hey, we bought it.
I think Warner Brothers Discoveries was looking to sell WB games.
Yeah, and they've been looking. That was a rumor that was before the merger ever happened, and they were supposedly thinking of maybe not selling, but like leasing out the IPs. So you would have somebody else take the Batman, like Arkham stuff, and
make them
those stuff. Also, they own Mortal Kombat, which I'm very curious to see what happens with that.
That'd be interesting. So that's all for my entertainment news, but I have one other science news that I wanted just to mention because I think it's a really great discovery. University of Texas scientists and engineers created an enzyme that breaks down plastic in hours instead of centuries, can reduce waste and clean landfills. The most important thing about that for me is that if this enzyme is safe enough for wildlife, that it could be introduced in the ocean and break down the microplastics in the ocean that's really destroying the oceans and break down like the plastic bags and the choking hazards for like sea turtles and stuff like that that are plastic as well. Fishing lines and things like that are made from like these nylon and plastic. Hopefully these enzymes take these down and they're safe, that they won't affect the wildlife and like like the algae, the coral.
I feel
reefs
like
and
that
stuff
could
like that.
alter the microscopic organisms there. It's like,
Well, if it's broken down, the ocean will clean itself, but because plastic is such a it's such a foreign thing. Even in landfills, they take thousands of years for it to be broken down. But if like an enzyme is introduced, that these things could break down into like their compounds, then like the ocean can kind of just like clean itself out. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this. This is exciting stuff for at least the Earth's health. But that's it.
sounds good, especially since a lot of our pollution comes from just garbage and plastic that's like being burnt. Like, so barbaric. Let's stick it in fire.
Well, actually, I forget which country. I think it might be Sweden or one of those countries. They burn their garbage and use that for energy, and they're so efficient at it that they started importing garbage from other countries.
That's wild. Just
to
give
burn.
us your garbage.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but like there
One
are
man's
ways.
trash is another man's treasure.
Exactly, it's another man's form of energy. But that's all for my news, and I think that's all for all our news for this episode. It was an episode full of news that we had to talk about. Very important stuff, whether it was social or entertainment, or
Current events.
Exactly. A lot of shit's happening on this planet, and there's so little time to digest it all. But it is what it is. So let's do our final thoughts and wrap this episode up, boys. Mm-hmm. Who wants to go first?
I can go. Just one point: if there's anybody listening to this, the fans, if you're a fan of The Godfather, check out The Offer on Paramount Plus. They released the fourth episode today. I'm enjoying it very much.
Yeah.
They're talking about, it's the point of view of Al Ruddy, who is the producer of the film, and this was only like the second movie he ever worked on, so the guy really had no experience, and he's trying to figure it out. Like, you got Frank Sinatra's trying to shut down the movie, the mob's getting involved. Like, there's a bunch of things happening while this man's just trying to make a movie, which ends up being one of the greatest ever.
Someone leave a horse head?
That's in the movie.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like,
you gotta watch this.
Yeah. Well, I gotta watch the movies first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta watch the movies.
Yeah, but, I will. I'm sorry.
Fun fact: actually, the guy who's head of Paramount Plus, because the book came out first, and that's in the book, obviously, the horsehead thing. The mob left a dead rat in his hotel room. Like during the thing, but
call him a rat.
Jeez,
it's a whole thing. Yeah, if anybody's a fan of The Godfather, you should watch the show. It's good.
I'll go next.
Disco?
Final thoughts. So I was scrolling on my Instagram and I saw that Stone Cold Steve Austin believes that Breath of the Wild is the best Zelda game out, and I have to agree, especially because I'm playing it right now. I have to agree with Stone Cold, such an iconic figure. I'd never even pictured him as a game player, but apparently he smokes weed and he plays games, so I'm like, damn, Stone Cold, I want to chill with you now. But kudos to Stone Cold, I'm loving Breath of the Wild. I just beat my second Divine Beast. I'm collecting shrines. I'm close to my third stamina wheel. I'm making moves out here. I'm collecting weapons. I'm providing for myself and my future generations. Hyrule.
Okay. Future generations of Hyrule. Yeah. All right. Good shit. My final thoughts. God, I hope I can play video games again. With the way my time has been going with commuting back into the city for work and stuff like that, I haven't had a millisecond to even think about a video game. So hopefully in the near future, I will have some time to play some video games, because I really want to finish Horizon Zero Dawn. So
maybe you'll finish it by the time the third one comes out.
Maybe we'll see.
There's gonna be a PS6 by the time he's out.
Probably. I'll still
that's very much a possibility.
Yep. With the backlog I have, definitely.
Hey, I've been playing Yakuza Like a Dragon just since you haven't been playing video games, and my God.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest series ever.
Nice. All right. Thank you for listening, everybody, to another episode of Los Wise Guys podcast. If you like what you hear, follow us on our social medias. Like, subscribe, rate, share, and review. Don't forget to go to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need those subscriptions. Like our videos. Comment on our videos. Engagement is very important. So throw some comments in there, whether they're good or bad. Just let us know.
We do respond as well, if anyone's noticed.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We are active. We engage.
Yes, and as always, thank you for listening, and have a great week.